Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this. We are going to explore the fascinating and, let's be honest, often totally misunderstood math and chemistry that keeps your backyard oasis crystal clear. If you own a pool or maybe service them for a living, you probably think you know exactly how much water you're dealing with. But today, we're looking at hard data that suggests you might actually be way off. And we'll see exactly why that matters a whole lot more than you might think. So, here's a provocative question for you. Could a tiny math error be quietly destroying your pool equipment? You know, most people just guesstimate their pool's volume. Maybe the previous homeowner threw out a number, or you just kind of rounded some measurements in your head. But the sources we're digging into today reveal that a simple 10% error in your volume estimate can trigger a massive chain reaction. It might seem like a really small miscalculation, but it's absolutely enough to throw off every single chemical addition you make, literally eating away at your hardware over time.
Here's a quick roadmap of what we're covering today. We'll look at the cost of guessing, finding your average depth, the magic multiplier, formulas by shape, avoiding measurement traps, and finally, perfecting your chemistry.
All right, Section 1, the cost of guessing and the stakes of a 10% error.
Just look at the domino effect that happens when we don't know our exact gallon count. According to industry data, pool volume is the absolute foundation for almost every maintenance calculation. If you have a 10% error and your volume estimate right out of the gate, step 2 is pretty much inevitable. You are going to either overdose or underdose your chemicals, and over time, that compounds. If you underdose your sanitizer, bacteria and algae survive, which leads directly to that cloudy green water nobody wants. On the flip side, if you overdose, you push your pH and alkalinity completely outside of safe ranges. The result is burning eyes for swimmers and highly corrosive water that destroys metal pool parts, degrades your liner, and drastically shortens the lifespan of your expensive pumps and heaters. We really have to measure accurately to prevent all of this.
Moving on to Section 2, finding your average depth. This is where most calculations actually fail.
Okay, this sounds incredibly basic, but you'd be shocked. It is the #1 mistake pool owners make. When calculating volume, you absolutely must measure the actual water line, not the total wall height. Some above-ground pools will list their wall height as 48 or 52 inches. But think about it, your water line is usually several inches lower than that. If you calculate volume using the full wall height, you are literally calculating chemistry for the empty air floating above your water, and that is a guaranteed way to overdose your pool. Now, if your pool has a perfectly flat bottom, your depth is just your depth. Easy. But most pools have a slope. To find your true average depth, you take the shallow end depth, add it to the deep end depth, and divide that number by 2. So if your shallow end is 3 feet and your deep end is 9 feet, your average depth is 6 feet. Simple enough, right? But keep in mind, if you have a sudden sharp drop-off, like a hopper bottom, you'll actually want to treat the shallow and deep ends as 2 separate geometric sections to stay highly accurate. Once we have our dimensions in feet, we have to convert that physical 3-dimensional space into liquid gallons.
Which brings us to Section 3, the magic multiplier, and converting space to liquid. So there's a highly specific, nerd-level precision number we need to talk about, 7.48052. This is the exact number of US gallons that fit into 1 cubic foot of space. Now, a lot of online guides and old-school manuals will tell you to just round this up to 7.5. Make it easy, right? But the source data shows us exactly why that's a bad habit. Rounding to 7.5 introduces a 0.27% error right out of the gate. On an 8,000-gallon pool, that throws an extra 22 phantom gallons into your math. It might not sound huge, but when you're trying to perfectly dial in parts per million for chlorine dosing, that compounding error is absolutely enough to throw off your water chemistry. Precision really pays off here.
Let's jump to Section 4, formulas by shape. It's time to apply the math.
Taking our measurements and our magic multiplier, let's start with the most standard shape. For rectangular or square pools, the formula is just straight geometry. Length times width times average depth. That gives you your cubic feet. Then you multiply by our magic number, 7.48052, to get your precise US gallons. So if you have a 16 by 32 foot pool with an average depth of 5.25 feet, you just multiply those straight across to get your total volume. Boom, done.
But what if you have a round pool? Well, you can't use the standard rectangular formula because obviously a circle doesn't have corners. The math here is diameter times average depth times 5.9. Now that 5.9 multiplier is actually a mathematical shortcut. It takes our magic 7.48 constant and scales it down using pi divided by 4. which directly accounts for the missing volume of those rounded edges. Using the box dimensions of an above-ground pool often overstates the volume by 8 to 12%, so definitely always measure the inner wall-to-wall diameter yourself.
Then we have the tricky kidney-shaped pools. Because of that indented curve, the surface area isn't a perfect anything. To solve this, you measure the widest point of one side, add it to the narrowest point of the indentation, multiply that by the overall length, the depth, our 7.48052 constant, and finally multiply by 0.45. This 0.45 is what's called an empirical shape factor. It's basically a calculated approximation that estimates the usable area of a typical kidney shape compared to a full rectangle.
And for those of you with complex, lagoon-style freeform pools or L-shaped pools with multiple zones, there is no single magic equation. You kind of have to play Frankenstein. You break the pool up into smaller, recognizable geometric sections, a rectangle over here, a circle over there. You calculate the volume for each zone independently using the formulas we just discussed, and then simply add them all together for your grand total. So the math itself is relatively simple, but human error is where things really go wrong.
Which leads perfectly into Section 5, avoiding measurement traps, and some pro tips for precision.
Here are some fantastic pro tips derived straight from industry experts. First up, don't round your dimensions excessively early in the process. If your pool is 25 feet and 9 inches long, don't just call it 26 feet. Convert the inches to a decimal, so that's 25.75 feet. Next, remember to measure to the actual water line, not the coping or the top of the tile. Third, you absolutely must account for water displacement. Stairs, tanning ledges, and built-in benches take up physical space. You actually need to subtract their volume from your final count, because, well, water can't exist where a solid concrete bench is. And finally, take multiple depth readings. Use a laser measure or a fiberglass tape to average out minor variations. Do all this, and you'll have a precise, unrounded, scientifically sound gallon count.
Finally, Section 6, perfecting your chemistry, where math meets water. The absolutely crucial point here is summarized perfectly by quotes from the BioGuard and Hayward guides. Every single chemical you add, chlorine, acid, stabilizer, baking soda, is prescribed in parts per million, or ppm. 1 ppm essentially means 8.3 pounds of a chemical per 1 million gallons of water. If you don't know your exact gallons, you cannot achieve accurate ppm, period.
Let's look at some real-world data from Hayward to see exactly how this plays out. There is a direct, undeniable relationship here. If you want to increase your alkalinity by exactly 10 parts per million, a 5,000-gallon pool requires exactly 0.7 pounds of baking soda. A 10,000-gallon pool needs exactly double that, 1.4 pounds. But what if you guessed you had 20,000 gallons, but you actually only had 10,000? You'd dump in 2.8 pounds of baking soda. You would instantly double your targeted chemical spike, throwing your water totally out of balance and risking immediate cloudiness and scaling.
You know, most chemical charts assume a baseline of 10,000 gallons. By knowing your true, precise pool volume, you can use a really simple proportional dosing formula to scale those recommendations to your specific pool. This is the ultimate secret to safe, cost-effective maintenance. It stops you from wasting money on expensive, totally unneeded chemicals, and it prevents that vicious cycle of yo-yoing your water chemistry, where you add way too much acid, drop the pH too low, and then have to buy more soda ash just to bring it back up.
So, we've covered the hidden costs of guessing, the exact formulas you need to use, and why precise measurement is the absolute bedrock of pool maintenance. Which leaves us with one final thought. You now know the math, so is your water asking for a recalculation? The next time you're about to shock your pool, it might just be worth grabbing a tape measure first. Thanks for learning with us today on this explainer, and hey, here's to perfectly balanced water.